Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and today is very exciting because I am starting a brand new adventure on a character, on a new captain with the Update 35 Captain Revamp in LOTRO. But he's going to be a hardcore character, which is very scary because I like to die in the game, and if you're unfamiliar with hardcore challenges, that basically means your adventure's done when you die. Of course, in LOTRO, there is the technicality that when your character dies, they're technically only defeated, but I'm basically going to treat it, if this character gets defeated, I'm going to stop playing him. There are, of course, some considerations, important considerations with things that are, say, out of my control that would lead to a character defeat, but hopefully that's something we don't have to, or well, don't run into at all. And yeah, I also did a very bad job actually planning this character, so I'm just going to pick some somewhat random settings to get him made. He's probably going to look like all my other characters because I tend to make them look the same for some reason. So we'll go with that. Okay, the blonde hair is annoying me. If I had blonde hair, I might not mind playing a character with blonde hair, but I don't know. Anyway, there were a whole lot of people waiting. I actually had to delay the stream like 15 minutes because, as usual, I was running late from my planned time. It was largely because after I ate dinner, I just got like super sleepy. I probably could have taken a nap even though I'm not a person that takes naps. We'll try Luian. And we want to do Before the Shadow. So I think these are, yeah, they're decent settings to start. So let's, he's looking a little pale there, so I'll just go with that. Also, Gondolin sounds good. I forgot to pay attention to that part, but that is good. I think good enough for me. And yeah, another exciting thing with this character, though, is that he's going to be doing Before the Shadow content. If y'all are familiar with my experiences so far in Before the Shadow, it has primarily been up to... I should say I haven't even finished Swanfleet, and I have not done Cardalin, so I'm actually really excited to try Before the Shadow and hopefully have a better experience this time. One thing I'm going to do at the start is not probably as many side quests as I normally do. Usually in LOTRO, I love side quests, and that's like the main thing I actually do. But I think at least until I find something new, or if there's particular side quests that are of interest, I definitely don't mind doing those. But if I probably won't focus on them until Cardalin, basically. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this challenge. Ideally, this character will survive a long time, but it is entirely possible that this will be a super short stream because I could realistically die very early on, and that would be the end of the character's adventures. That would be a letdown, but it's entirely within the realm of possibilities. The thing with me being sleepy before the stream started and like just taking me a minute to actually get things set up and get ready here is like, as soon as I start this, I'm realizing that, or I'm not realizing, but I'm becoming a whole lot less tired, and now I'm like super energetic and excited for this. So kind of basically just need to get up and get moving and all ready to go. So one thing I do like with the Before the Shadow Mossword intro was how quick it was and how quickly you got into the open world, so I'm looking forward to that. But I think at the start of the stream, while we're letting these people talk, I'm going to start a poll, and I am wondering what you all think about gear. What should I do? So I am leaning towards, let's see. Takes me forever to do polls sometimes, but here we go. Okay, so basically 3 options, and one of them is crafted gear that I could just make all my alts and send to this character. And then the other one is going to be quests and drops only, so only what I naturally get on this character. And then the third option is this character can craft his own gear, but I won't use crafted gear from my alts and other characters. Because I think that could be pretty important for a run like this. In a normal character, regular leveling that's not naked like my Dordan, I would do crafted gear because it's super easy to make and it's pretty OP at the low levels being basically 50 and under. There are occasional exceptions, but well, I think jewelry is the biggest exception, but for armor and weapons, typically crafted gear is going to be the best. And finally, to actually get to chat and say hello to everybody, like 10 minutes into this, doing a very bad job today, but PT Sandro, James Exiled Legends, who was shrew stomping while waiting, I think. And Andreas, yes, the stream is delayed anyway, true. Run Corco, Andrew, Morno252. So you skipped the Swanfleet side quest and had a much better experience on your recent run through. That's good to know. Oh, we gotta follow him outside. And graphical overhaul. I don't expect it to be in any like one single particular update. I think an actual example is in update 35, this update that came out like Wednesday or whenever it was. The revamp to the last homely house is basically what I expect the graphics overhaul, the, what do they call it, LOTRO remastered to look like. Oh yeah, Ben Fuller, you said that you are catching the live stream from the UK, and usually, actually I have to pay attention to my health here, 1 second. Okay, I'm not dying from this goblin. I shouldn't be dying from a level 1 goblin, but I'm like, my senses, my worry of dying is heightened right now for some reason. But glad you're able to catch this, because it is true that my streams are usually very late in UK time. Even this one's relatively late. I was, of course, initially hoping, I was thinking like a 4 or 5 o'clock my time stream, which it's 6:30 now for reference. I'm glad I didn't even try to schedule that in the first place. Ooh, I guess we have to wait a second to follow her. One way that you can easily do a quest like this and not pay too much attention is just type /follow. There you go, you get to be lazy, follow the NPC, and be on your way and not have to pay attention. Andrew, you're wondering if you can make a character on Langevall and go along with me. I would not be opposed to that. I think as far as like not dying or a challenge goes, I definitely don't mind playing in group situations, but that is going to be one of the things to consider is if I end up dying in group content, like if I did, say, Great Barrows, and this character died, would that count as a hardcore death if I did not cause my character to die? And I think that's where some subjectivity can come in, and it gets a whole lot messy with a game like LOTRO. So, yeah, that's just one thing to think about. Like, for example, if you have... can't think of a immediate mechanic like this, but say you have 5 out of 6 players in the group do the proper mechanic in the dungeon and one person does not, then would that actually count? I think it'd be very easy to argue it should not. And the other big one that is unfortunately a worry in LOTRO is lag. If I'm in the middle of combat and have this giant lag spike that just goes on for like a minute or two, then and your character dies because of that and there was nothing you can do, would that count? And there are probably other similar situations to that, but those are just some things I'm thinking. Even right now, my health is actually getting scary low. Okay, so this Captain Revamp is not particularly exciting at level 1. That is actually something that I am definitely picking up on. But I am level 1, and I already have 4 abilities, which is actually a lot. If y'all missed my new player roleplay, where I basically tried to envision myself as a new player in the Hunter, I think I made a Hunter on a new free-to-play account. One thing I noticed is you get a ton of abilities at low levels, and it's something as a sort of veteran player as I am, I actually really like that, because that just means my character has more to do. And the, like, first few levels are more exciting than they otherwise would be. But that does mean for a new player it's a lot of abilities to get used to. Okay, so there are tons of quests here, but I think for Mossword, there are probably some I can do, but I really am thinking I'll just focus on the book quests. See, I can accept side quests like this, but I just don't even want to be distracted by them. And that really does contrast what I usually do. Like just defeat the warg. Yeah, that's fine. That'd be an easy one to do. I'm also thinking crafting wise, this character I do want to craft on. Unfortunately, crafting revamps not out, or not even like really in game, and that you can't just choose your professions, because this character would be perfect to be a armor smith, weaponsmith, and prospector. Or like if he were to be a self-sufficient crafter, which is tied for first in the poll right now. Definitely people don't want me to take crafted gear from alts. That is something I can definitely tell from the poll, but let's see, go this way. Wait, what do I need to do here? That's not even that color green. Oh well. I guess when you make a new character, the tracking of quest colors is a little bit wonky, it looks like. I want that one. Wait a minute. Oh, they skipped this one, and that one's a little bit darker. Okay. I think that's set. And yeah, lag does mean that the servers are cheating against my challenge. Okay, where's this last wounded guy? Supposedly right there. I do not believe that to be the case, though. Oh, here he is. I feel like I'm just completely blind was the issue there. That was probably there the whole time. Yeah, Andrew, most classes do have all the skills they get by level 50. That used to notably not be the case with the Warden, but with the Gambit revamp, they are supposed to, according to the developers, have all the Gambits by level 50, so I assume that actually is the case. I just haven't looked on a character like Dordan to actually check the level number when you get stuff. Okay, so is the crafting person, I need to go to Law and Garen, I believe. Okay, do we go on the... Let's read this. But yeah, I'm hoping with crafting XP and of course my XP boosting items, we gotta get those out. Shield of the Hammerhand, that's a good one. Journeyman riding trait, we'll definitely want that to get on our mount. So I am going to use my XP boosting gear, at least at the low levels to start, because I don't know, that's something I normally do until help with the side quest. So we want to open the Minas Morgul one and the Gundabad one, I believe. So this will take me... Okay, I think that's everything. Yeah, that's good enough for now. Won't worry about all the stuff in my inventory later. What could go wrong?
Let's see if this parchment holds any clue. Yeah,
it is a not great time for a lag right now. I definitely agree. on Langevall. Actually, population's kind of lower than I expected. Maybe it's a little bit early for people, but yeah, the lag, even on Langevall, a relatively lower population server, has not been particularly great lately. Okay, so we have to go towards the northwest a little bit, not much. Northwest of this little animal pen fence wall area.
What do you want, stranger?
Okay, find the defeat circle. Crafting changes, do not know about when that will be, Ben. Hopefully soon, though. I don't know if they'll start releasing updates for it piecewise, or if they are planning on, say, the summer update, doing a like relatively big update, then maybe the expansion as well, or exactly what their plans are with that. But at least we have an idea of some general things that they are looking towards doing. I believe the red circle, there it is. That is some dedication, assuming they're on walk speed on purpose. I've thought about doing that and have like done that in very brief stints in the past in LOTRO to be like very immersive, but it's just so slow to actually walk in like you probably normally would walk. It's just so slow. Okay, I think we're headed to the blacksmith.
Scardy spends more time fixing horseshoes.
This is
than he
probably...
does
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Durin's folk shall
You can do that on every character. I actually don't know if I get anything of use besides the little extra steed, which I think is a not bad looking steed. So I will use that one. Okay, so we want heavy armor. And then Celebrate Spring. That's actually a nice source for XP here. I don't know how much it will get me. I probably won't... Oh, you can't even use that till level 10. Okay, definitely not going to do that yet. But if I get really far behind on XP, using my Destiny points would not be a bad idea. What do I gotta use? Battle Shout? Oh, that was easy. They didn't even make me use Devastating Blow or anything. It's just like a super basic ability. But, oh, yeah, they did. Never mind. Spoke too soon. This quest had 2 parts. I don't remember them having 2 parts in the past, but maybe that's this Mossword one specifically. Oh, and they're going to make me spec. I actually like that. I don't think I remember that completely from the Runekeeper, but I like that they basically ensure that you spec. I'm also curious, Hammer Stroke does 53 to 59 damage. Okay, Shadow's Lament is stronger, as it should be, but did want to make sure that was the case. And then Elendil's Roar is the AoE Force Taunt. Valiant Strike, of course, is the heal. Nice that you get that as soon as you spec into Blue Line. It just, like, really tells you you're supposed to actually be a healing captain. Oh, use Shadow's Lament. Get a nice Devastate. Oh, I'm guessing that is Andrew there. Crabworth. Also playing a captain. Ooh, they have a fancy frame. That reminds me, I need to... that's the... Is that the crab frame? I'm trying to remember where you get that, but I think I have seen that one. My favorite, though, is still Blaze of Hope.
You recovered the Uruk blade from Tegwin before.
Wow.
Very well.
Oh, that was a reward track one. That's just so crazy. 2-handed hammer. If that weren't such an ugly hammer, I would get that. I like axes, which explains why I play a high elf and not a dwarf. But yeah, eventually I'll get, when we can find somebody with town services, I'll get to the cosmetics for this character. I feel like he has to have something unique, so I won't use like cosmetic armor set that I already have on somebody else, but I will use What am I thinking? Yes, weapons, just to give me a better looking weapon. But I think, because I'm going to probably go slow here, the book quest has me... Oh, that actually has me collect King's Foil and defeat beasts. So I think with the King's Foil and beasts, I will head to the southeast. And maybe, Andrew, if you need a moment to get set up, I could actually go ahead and head to Lon Garen and start getting some crafting, get my crafting picked up, basically. That's something I wanted to do, and I'll give us a slow start here. Give me a chance to catch up on things. Okay, so as far as traits go, we're level 4, and we already have 3 trait points. That's pretty ridiculous, in a good way. But, hey, we get attack 10% faster and, with 3% more damage. Only for our melee abilities, which, speaking of that... Let's make sure they're telling the truth. Oh, I guess that's going to... Okay, hold up. Oh, it doesn't let me apply that? Okay, we can just do 1. And there we go. They are. It seemed like in the beta, which is of course is beta, so you can expect issues and inconsistencies, but I remember in the beta, maybe more so with the Warden, that there were traits that, wow, here are all the Craven. That is good to note. If anybody has ever been curious where all the Craven are in this area for the Mossword quest, they're all right back there. Sand and Snow, this is on Landreval. Hold up, where am I going? I forgot they made changes to water. I haven't really seen them, but there should be like shadows can be cast on water now. This water looks a bit iffy, but I think it's because it's far away and there's just not much on the ground. But that's something to maybe pay attention to now that we're in a place with water. Yes, if you do want to join Sand and Snow, you can, and anybody else for that matter. Sand and Snow is an odd combination. I know I've seen your name a bunch here, channel member, which I appreciate. But just actually thinking about Sand and Snow. It's just usually when I think of sand, it's like... It would be at the beach, which would be, I envision, warm. Also, I should probably go ahead and start the local recording. It's not one of the reasons I was late today, but one thing I did today, and actually made progress on, was some of my getting my storage together. Because as it turns out, if you record hundreds of hours of gameplay footage at fairly high quality on OBS, that means that, yes, it takes up a whole lot of storage space, basically. As far as full stream archives, which I don't have tons of those, but I have some of those. For full stream archives, I probably have close to 1 terabyte. But a lot of streams, especially in the past, I didn't record, and still quite a few of them, more than it should be. I just completely forget to actually record locally. But it's great to have for videos, basically. So when I like take footage from a stream or something I did in the game, that way you don't have to deal with my, or even I don't have to deal with my face cam. The cat cam would be okay, but that way it's also just out of the way, clean video. Oh yeah, so as far as the captain changes Dark Solo, so that is actually a good thing to bring up, because in this stream I have not talked about it too much, besides there are changes. And what we have seen, I haven't really run into much, but Shadow's Lament not opening battle ready state is what it's called. So They got new abilities, and some abilities changed to be class-wide. Gallant Display, maybe that's the only one really. So Gallant Display is a new ability that you'll have in all specs, and its effect is based on your spec. That's a really exciting one just because I love that ability. You also have Defensive Strike as a new ability that puts you into the battle ready state. And then that means the old abilities that used to put you in battle ready state that were not Battle Shout got changed to not have that effect. I think the main ones are going to be the heal, whatever that one was called in the blue line. It was like, I should know the name of it. Yeah, Valiant Strike, and then as well as Shadow's Lament here in the red line. But yeah, Gallant Display, just for example here, that's actually the wrong description and not the ability I will get. That's the blue line version. But that is, yeah, it's essentially what it is, a frontal AoE that does damage for red line captains. Also, the big change with Captain Redline is that at higher level, I think it's very unfortunate that it's this far into the trait tree. I think it's level 31, if I remember correctly. You'd have 25 trait points. But at that level, when you spend that many trait points in the red line, you get the solo stance, which greatly improves your solo capabilities, or at least moderately improves your solo capabilities. So some of your abilities change into basically attacks that are a lot better damage, but they don't have any group support impact. Also, this is what I want. I don't actually know if I've ever come across one of these NPCs called Mistress of Apprentices, so that's kind of neat. So for what I want on this character, oh, I want Weaponsmith, but Metalsmith would be better. So I'm thinking Metalsmith, Prospector, Tailor. The only reason I wouldn't want to do something like this is because I would want to do Weaponsmith. Oh, no, more so because I would want to gather, but I don't need that. I gotta get that out of my mind. I'll go ahead and end the poll because I picked up my crafting here. And with 45% of the votes, so almost half of them, you'll said I can craft, but only what I craft on this character, essentially. So I have to be self-sufficient, is basically the way it goes. Speaking of self-sufficient, I am going to magically acquire a universal toolkit. Oh wait, can I not do that yet? Do you have to be like level 5 to do these get the town services? That's unfortunate. Is there anything I can do to get level 5 real quick? Do these quests even give XP? I don't really want to do that right now. I'll just quit my Prospector's Axe. What is that called? Prospector's Axe? Why did I call it that? It is Prospector's Tools, but the pickaxe is what I was thinking. Yeah, that is kind of funny with Gallant Display that it was not an AoE despite its animation, which is one of the reasons I love that ability is its animation. I know in a video I talked about, I think it was the My Captain Story video for anybody that saw that. It's relatively old at this point, maybe like 2.5 years ago is when I uploaded it. But let's see how much XP I get for one kill, just curiously. I really should organize my bars. 59 XP. I'm just wondering if it's worth just killing a few mobs here. I will get quest progress, so yeah, let's go ahead and do it. But the reason I want to do that, I guess, yeah, rather use this ability than try to stay in battle ready state. The reason I want to do that though is so I can get my VIP rewards and get a little bit of progress on crafting. But yeah, let me do something about this absolute mess. I'm also wondering, leveling a new captain, if I will find a better way to situate my abilities. because I don't dislike what I set up for my higher level captain with the start of the changes, but I also was not a really big fan of it. So I don't immediately know what I could do better, but what I'm hoping is from actually playing the character and playing more than 30 minutes, I can get a better sense of how I would want these abilities organized. Also, I think I'll move this over a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and save that change, so layout save, so I don't have to worry about that again. But yeah, in that video with the captain that I talked about that in, I don't remember if I brought it up with Gallant Display, but I think I had a similar thought at least at some point. Because I talked about that one ability because it really is one of my favorite abilities in the game. And I remember in that video, and I think even other ones where I talk about the captain, that I thought Gallant Display would be a great ability to have for all specs and not even have to get it in the red line, or the blue line as it was. You could pick it up though. That was the good news. Is the good news. But yeah. And kind of similarly with the Beorning, I think Claw Swipe, I think that is an ability that every spec Beorning should get. It would go a long way towards helping. Oh, you can get these treasure caches at level 5? That is crazy. I guess I never ran into one of these on my Dwarf Runekeeper who I was leveling through here, but maybe I just don't remember as well. Also, Sand and Snow, if you are joining, I think I'm getting somewhat ready to actually go out on questing adventures. Maybe. I am, for reference, and anybody that may have missed, with Before the Shadow, I haven't been the biggest fan of all of Swanfleet, especially the southeast side with the hobbits. Even some of the Mossword stuff, Lon Garen. So what I'm planning with this character is primarily focusing on the book quests, and if I get some side quest on, it's like no problem. But contrasting how I would usually play the game, I'm not really going to focus on the side quests and probably not even pick up a lot until we get to Carn, where I intend to play how I normally would and actually pick up all the side quests, do all the side quests along with the book quests. Okay, so I have an inventory I'll eventually need to figure out, but I'll ignore that for now. I'm hoping I have a universal toolkit in my vault. Actually, there was this crafting tool. Who would have this? Which of my characters would have this? Because there was that crafting tool that in one of the expansion bundles, wasn't there a crafting tool that gave you increased landscape tokens? There was also the pocket item. Once I'm less interested in XP, I should probably get that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Carn. I feel like for some reason, I just couldn't make the push with the Runekeeper, and I thought getting a fresh start would be good. And then when we learned of the Captain revamp, I was like, oh, I'll just level a Captain through there. And then I was like, you know what? I'll do a hardcore character to make it a bit more interesting, I suppose. Oh, it's the supplier. I'm like, that's really great of them to give me that where there's no forge. There's an oven. There's a study. There's a workbench. I know there's a forge in the other camp. Mossword, I think it's called. I want to be over there. Oh, it is over there. Wow. It's fine, but kind of far away. Oh, the tailor's over here. What? Is there a workbench over here? Okay, that helps. I also like all the training dummies they have around. It's like a minor thing, but it makes the camp feel a little bit better. Uh-oh, what happened to my duo? Defeated? That's not good. Hopefully they're not doing a hardcore challenge. Yeah, there's an interesting side effect with a hardcore challenge in that there are times where I intentionally get myself defeated in LOTRO, intentionally die to do the so-called death port. You basically use that as a free travel. I haven't run into too much combat yet, Val, even though I am level 5. But I think, you know, I don't actually know when this might get super challenging. I'm going to try to make it interesting, at least with the gameplay. I'm not going to like very intentionally, like if I come across a random elite that I just want to kill for fun because that's the type of thing I like to do in this game, I'm not going to avoid that type of situation essentially. Okay. I need to actually take a second to settle down and do... Okay, no toolkit here. So, I'd like to get this toolkit from another character, but I have no idea at all which character has it. I do know that my main warden has one, but that will mean I have to remember to transfer it back to him. I really don't know what character would be next in line for that. I would guess that it's a leveling character, but I don't think... Oh, it could be my minstrel. My minstrel is my main leveling character for a little bit there. So I guess I'm going to leave the group, but... Oh no, Lurok, he probably has it. This is the Runekeeper who didn't finish Swanfleet, even in that stylish outfit. I spent so much time setting up his cosmetics, I think partially as a distraction from the Swanfleet content. But here he is, and he does not have the crafting tool. Alright then. Oh, it could be Dorden. I don't think it gives stats, so I definitely could have given it to Dorden. He is a... For some reason, I was thinking I wouldn't have given it to him because he's doing the naked challenge, but I bet he is the one with it. I only have 21 characters to look through. Hold up, the lying for that kind of sucks with the new expansion. I'm a little bit confused. But, oh wow, the epic quest rewards in Before the Shadow are better than anything you can craft. That's actually something to look forward to me. Ooh boy. Okay, he has a regular universal toolkit. But the flowing stone silver is what I was going to send him. What's some random thing I can destroy? This guy. Yeah, he can equip gear. Might as well destroy those. Okay, I'm going to send these two things. But I still like to check one more character. What was the name of this new character? Luian? I'm very bad at coming up with names. That was the hardest part. So far, yes, the hardest part of this challenge was coming up with the character's name. Oh, hey, here's the warden changes. There are a lot of exciting things with Update 35, and they both involve, well, not both, two of them involve low-level characters, because I want to check out the warden progression, basically, as you level up, as well as the captain progression as you level up, so these two leveling characters. All right, who else? Oh, I was going to check the minstrel. Okay, minstrel is last character I will change. Change to. But I actually do consider that a good thing that Before the Shadow has better gear, because the level areas don't really have gear that has modern stats in LOTRO. It basically sets you up to expect that quest gear is bad in the game, which for a lot of low level areas it's generally going to be. There are some exceptions. But let's see. He has a universal toolkit. I have absolutely no idea which character has this. I think it does exist, right? I'm not completely crazy. Am I? Maybe there's only one of them, and that one is the one I have on my high level warden, but I think with the pocket item, if I equip that, I can... Well, while I'm changing characters... Sorry, one more change. Hope you all don't mind. Ah, yes, the wardrobe is a great thing to get your new characters some very epic looking outfits. I think I'll probably equip a weapon for my captain. Hopefully I have an appealing one, but yes, this is the toolkit. I think there was a like non-fateful version, basically. There was another version of it that worked for only Gundabad, maybe? Maybe that was the problem. Or that was the thing, it was like only Gundabad, and this one works at any level, but I'll... Oops. That's the name of... Hold up. But there we go. Also, this is the new Last Homely House for anybody that has not seen it. I have a YouTube short, as wonderful as that is for viewing something like this. I did make a YouTube short on it. That's like the big thing with YouTube shorts. If you could actually do them in non-vertical format, I would probably have more of them. The vertical format just does not work very well with LOTRO. You can, I mean, kind of make it work, but it's not particularly great. Also, the Zocker, if you are here, I don't think I've seen you in chat. Sorry if I've missed you, but thank you for sharing the stream on Discord, as I seem to always forget. Also, did I not change the thumbnail? Hold up. Okay, I did change the thumbnail. It's just, for some reason, not updated on, I guess, the preview. But, yeah, that is true. Shorts are mostly made for mobile, which is where, I think for my analytics, most of my views are still from desktop, but a lot of them are definitely for mobile. And if I have some random videos that, like, the more videos blow up, the higher proportion of views that are typically going to be for mobile, if that makes sense. If y'all are wondering why I'm not doing anything in the game, LOTRO is not responding. So, yeah, but now we're good. Now we're loading. I know it's super riveting content so far. But yeah, it looks like, just because I was curious, about 30% of my views the last 365 days are mobile. Maybe a little bit more. Like 35% maybe. Actually, even more. It's less watch time. So desktop viewers have relatively higher watch time, which makes sense. But yeah. Actually, iOS. So people on iOS have more watch time than Windows, which is actually surprising to me. Huh. People on Android don't watch my videos long, though. Okay. Hello stands in the fire. Also, I need to fix this. But, oh no, did I log into the wrong character? Ugh. I was in the middle of thank you all for your patience as I get back to... as I get back to the captain. I've been on this like 10-minute side quest to get him a pocket item, or not a pocket item, the crafting tool. And I got him some other things. And I think on the 4th character I found a crafting tool. Well, one of the ones specific I was looking at. But yeah, now we are waiting. But, oh, I was about to pull out my secret weapon, and then it started to respond again. While we're loading, though, y'all get to see it. Wrong one. Oh, wait. Ooh. There you go. Oh, I feel like if I bother her, she's gonna start bothering me, but there's the cat. There's Yeah, no cat on the couch. They haven't been on the couch much lately back there. And the other cat, so this one's Piper. Lexi, the other one that's generally here less frequently, is she has found a spot she loves in the cat tree in the other room on the other side of the wall from my monitors. So behind a wall, behind my camera. Oh, wait, never mind. There she is. Hold up. Oh, no, I can't do that because the wire. I need a... Yeah, I have to change things with the cat camera to get that. Wait for it. Oh, I will take a bronze greatsword and a great club. I'll probably use the sword, though. Thank you. Who was that? I think that was Andrew that had the gifts. Yes, thank you. And we have Snowdew, who is Saint and Snow. I like that name. A ginger cat Hippocratic Oath. There's actually a second one off the screen. I don't know if it matters too much, but they're also female. Snowdew Snaggins. I hope with a name like that you're a hobbit, which I think. Yeah, and you have right here. That's perfect. Makes me miss the snow. Okay, I'll keep this guy equipped for now. I feel like I'm going so slow now, but yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about these intro quests. We'll cancel. Maybe I can even filter those. I got some free crafting ingredients from them though. But oh, I could have made myself some armor. I guess I still can. So I can make one piece of armor. What do I want to make? Probably armor. We'll go with Elven. Yes, Elven's the one with physical mastery. But I'm thinking that there's a cat on my way, but I'm thinking she's trying to eat my cursor. I had to do the book quest. I don't know where you all are on the book quest. It looks like Crabworth is ineligible for that. This is chapter 3, and Snowdew is on the same quest. Good. I need a cat cam that faces that way. Faces the other way. Okay, so I think right now I am going to...
What have we to say to each other, Devodiad? What is
travel
your purpose
back to
in
Mossward, and I don't have 5
What is
silver.
your purpose
How
here,
tragic.
Devodiad?
The good news is I should be able to. Okay, I can at least sell 30 silver. Let's try to avoid that, though. I don't want to sell any of my new armor. There we go. We have 5 silver. Basically, the one time that I have actually been low on funds in the past. Like something as silly as 5 silver in a very long time. Can y'all see her tail? Oh, barely. It popped up there briefly. There it is again. Oh, I think she prefers I don't hold her tail. But Dan's Adventures, you're wondering what made me want to start this challenge. And a few different things. One, just another thing to add interest to leveling in LOTRO, I guess. It's something I'm not familiar. Somebody said Anding did a challenge like this once. But it's something I was actually not familiar with anybody that had really tried this before. I know it's popular, or at least somewhat popular in maybe some other MMOs, in particular with World of Warcraft. I know people have done this type of thing, but also other genres, in particular survival type games. I think would be the most obvious where this challenge is common. So I thought, why not try it in LOTRO? Had something to leveling the new captain. Alright, where does this book quest have me going? Oh, actually right here. Perfect. Oh, collect King's Foil. Okay. That I can do. Hello, the Leviness. Said greetings from Hungary. It's pretty late where you are. I feel like that's what I always say when there's somebody from, like, typically it would be Europe. But glad to have people from over there watching. And you said you need this cat bed and human size. You would love it. That could be comfortable, actually. It'd almost be a little bit like a crib. Or a bowl, maybe. I don't, not quite like a crib, but maybe a little bit more like, yeah, sleeping in a bowl. Shores Chronic, you're wondering if I will play this challenge on Deadly +6. That does not sound like I would last that long. That'd be like, can I survive 1 hour on Deadly +6? Maybe if the character were high level, like if that challenge started at level 50, it could be more interesting, but based on my experience in actually playing Deadly +6 on Treebeard it's not the most exciting thing to play on that high difficulty at low level. I don't know what it's like, say for example level 50 and beyond, but at least we got to like the 30s, I think. And it's... Okay, we're headed to Klieger. It just... You didn't really have many class mechanics to counter the things that they had going on. And there was a lot of one-shots going on with Deadly +6, which is perfectly fine. That was plenty entertaining. But for, like, it being a challenge where it's actually intended that I could, in theory, survive it, I think it could have to start later. But maybe it would be interesting to play a challenge like this on, like, say, Deadly +1, Deadly +4, but just because that's tier 7. And I'm biased towards 7. What is this white quest? Scout Beyond? Yeah, we can do that. Also, I realize I'm running off from the people in my group. I don't know if they're all, like, on point. It looks like they are. Okay, that's good. But just because it was traveling, I don't know. I'm clearly not great at coordinating playing with viewers, but I'm happy to have you all along. And anybody else that wants to jump in. So Whitnox, no problem with coming late. Glad you're able to even make it, but you're wondering the challenge. So in a hardcore challenge, if my character is defeated, I would stop playing him. Essentially, he would be like deleted. The reason I don't quite want to say delete is just because... Is there nothing... Oh, I have to look. There we go. There's a free quest completion. But I wouldn't mind having a sort of spectator type mode where I could at least log into the character and, like, look at him. But yeah, essentially permadeath. Or more so, converting in LOTRO what is being defeated to death. I'll just also keep gathering things as I travel here. Share quest. So I am focusing on just the book quests right now. I just happen to run across a random side quest. But we can just focus on the book quest if y'all want until whatever the next zone is. Cardillon. But yeah, I'll spend a moment just like while I'm traveling here, maybe gathering and killing random mobs as another option. Seems like I might be able to use a little bit of XP buffer just without doing any of the side quests. It's good to know that killing level... Was that a level 10 mob? I thought it said 10, but I also thought its color was orange, which means it would be at most level 9. They look high level, but looks can be deceiving if you have access to a wardrobe. I always feel bad for Alexei. She's the cat that I just like maybe briefly saw at the very corner of my camera, that her tail, because she's very polite with bothering me. I think this is the first time she's rubbed against the microphone like that though. That's the Piper move. But I feel bad for her because she's so polite about wanting attention, and usually she's not like as annoying, I would say, as Piper. Sometimes she is. Like, she'll sometimes just be meowing a lot. Wow, somebody got ahead of me. See, I spend like 2 minutes doing my usual slowness and getting distracted, and that's a perfect opportunity for y'all to catch up. Ooh, 490 Devastate. The last low-level character I like played and paid much attention on, I guess technically I had that Runekeeper, but aside from him was Zordon, so it's nice. Oh, actually I played that Hunter on that free-to-play account. But in Before the Shadow, it was like my damage was so low that it's, I don't know, nice to actually do some. If we spar, yes, it should not. It should not count. Uh-oh. I can dismiss him. But yeah, if somebody else comes and attacks us, the only problem is I have gear equipped. Let me unequip it real quick. Oh, you can't request a spar. That's actually interesting. Okay, I still have more health than you, but how did I accidentally equip this? Or click this? I don't remember using anything like this, so that's unfortunate, but I cannot spar either. Do you have to be higher level? You are not allowed to spar in this area. I guess we can't spar here? Huh. Wait, today is Tolkien reading day. I did not know that. Yeah, talkative cats are nice. There's some neat animations going on here. Are those from the Brawler, the best defense? I don't think I've actually seen that. We very infrequently, like most of the playing with other people that I do is going to be people in my kin. And very, very infrequently we have played with Brawlers. I think there's one person that has a Brawler, and I think they are below level cap. So they wouldn't end up joining us that frequently, if I remember correctly. But yeah, not used to seeing effects like that, basically. I guess I can summon a banner. They have the Commoner Herald. Is that of Hope? Oh boy. That's a relentless attack. There it is. Yes, they have Banner of War. Oh, so the 25th of March is the date of the downfall of the Lord of the Rings, which is Sauron, and the fall of Barad-dûr. That's neat. Shores, you're wondering if I'm satisfied with the changes to Warden. In my experience, I haven't actually measured it, but damage... See, I haven't really done any content where I can directly compare the damage. What I will say is that there are less options for AoE damage compared to what there used to be, at least good AoE damage. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily worse, because they adjusted numbers of a lot of things, and with a whole lot of other adjustments, it's possible the AoE damage would not be like terrible essentially. But that is based on both my experience in the beta and the live patch, how it was released. We are probably weaker AoE wise, but there's more burst potential from AoE. There are two particular areas where the AoE damage is worse. or just like less options for AoE is how I should phrase it. So one is actually the Barbed Javelin trait in the old yellow line. That no longer existing eliminates one of these sources of AoE. So with the AoE morale taps in the yellow line, you could get some decent AoE bleeds. And the other big thing is with spear sweeping. So using, what was it, Onslaught and Wall of Steel to consume power attack and mighty blow bleeds. Getting the AoE from that, they were incredibly strong bleeds.
Goblins and Uruks.
And yeah, just losing that AoE option for damage over time as well. I would actually say that has been, as far as the Warden changes go, something that has been less fun has been AoE, and that's why I'm kind of fixated on it right now. That doesn't mean that the Warden like overall plays worse or anything, or I think the update has made it worse, but so far the AoE has been less fun, I think. I think really the big thing has actually been Barbed Javelins rather than spear sweeping. Okay, so I believe I am ready to head up north here. I'll go ahead and start getting some cuts of meat. Make sure everybody finishes this though. And Kim Jail, if you are wondering if the, yes, captain is started from scratch. I'm really looking forward mainly to Cardolin. I don't know if I'll quite get there today. I did start the stream relatively early and like I'm fine playing until basically bedtime for me today. Cuts of wolf meat. Oh, it's choice cuts of meat, and you can get those from wolves. I'm kind of surprised. I can't imagine wolf meat actually being any good, but maybe I just don't want to imagine it. $18 damage. It doesn't quite kill him in one attack. I wouldn't necessarily expect that, though. Now, contrasting the AoE damage, I would suspect that single target damage is better. But again, I haven't actually measured it, so that's just based on new single target ability and some of the other changes to the class that just helps improve overall throughput. Alright, let's see. Oh, one of them's still ineligible. If you all need me to slow down or change my pace of what I'm doing here, let me know, but at this point, I don't know if that's turn in, but ready to at least advance chapter 4. Andrew, I'm on chapter 4 right now. So I was getting the choice cuts of meat. Can work on Warg Slayer in the meantime, definitely. I don't mind doing that. There's probably a Bandit Slayer, Brigands. Oh, and it's in Swanfleet specifically, so they do treat these separately. That's good. Although I thought I heard people mention that they're like you don't get virtue XP from the Deeds in, but the before the Shadow Zone, so Swanfleet and Cardolin, which to me would be a okay. The Treasure Explorer has virtue XP. This one has 1,000 virtue XP. I thought most normal ones had 2,000 virtue XP. You also don't get LOTRO points. You get that for this discovery, but not these. That's you don't even get a title? You don't get like Warg Slayer of Swanfleet title? That sounds so unlike other places in LOTRO that I would actually assume it's a bug, but I'm guessing at this point it's a feature, and that's like an intended design somehow. Patsy. I haven't even named my banner man yet. I don't have a good name for him. He'll be... I can't name him Flag Holder. Holder. Does it have to be one name? Maybe I have to do like Flag Holder. There we go. Yeah, that's crazy. You don't get LOTRO points or even title for either of these. Okay, what am I doing? Book quest turning. See, I'm so distracted by having rings on the minimap, so I'm already slow, and this is just making me extra slow. I am level 8 though, so we're doing pretty decent in terms of level. Powering through at extremely swiftly slow pace.
How do you do?
I should have warned you that the folk in swamp.
Okay, so this is having me go to Glen Helig, Lintrap. So this is the quest where I get to go to the other camps, okay. And it looks like for the people in the group... Oh, Snowdew is still behind, that's okay. We can if you want. I can hold up a little bit. But at this point, I'm hoping to actually find stuff to gather, so I can at least do something productive. Eventually, I'd like to craft myself an armor set. Speaking of armor set, I can equip that new OP weapon that Andrew gave me, and I can... Ooh, maybe I will want a club, but maybe I can equip the chest piece that I crafted myself. Oh, it's so satisfying being able to equip gear, which I know sounds really crazy, but I've just been so stuck on Jordan for some reason that it feels weird to be able to equip gear. Actually, I have no idea why I stopped to kill this guy. Sorry, boar. Okay, other stuff-wise, anything else I need to do? Oh yeah, so I was going to take a second here to go to my wardrobe. I need to think about an outfit for this character. It's possible that the return to Carn Dum dungeon gear would actually be a type of outfit that I would go for with this character, but I think for now, I could do the Isengard prisoner set. I think Hauberk of the Mirror. I could go for something like that temporarily, but dirtied work boots. Oh, those are probably Beorning related, if I had to guess. Weapon though. This is a one-handed weapon. Captain's arm. I mean, is there a better weapon? I'm just like, it's a nice looking halberd, but I'm just like, I don't know why. I feel like I have bad memories with it. This is a two-handed sword, but it's relatively small, I believe. It'd be long for a one-handed sword, but short for a... Yeah. Wait, no. Oh, it is a one-handed sword. Okay, never mind then. Maybe this is the two-handed sword. Never mind. I thought I had a two-handed sword in here. Ring sword, is that at least two-handed? There we go. That's a nice looking sword too, if you ask me. Okay, so I am going to rapidly, listen very slowly, put this in all of my outfits. And if I can find a piece of outfit that matches that sword, that's what I will work towards. All right, for the book quests, look, yes, we have to go to the towns. Hello, Nucifer. And then Bilal, you are... Oh, cosmetic weapon. See, I see the question mark and then I like start reading the thing from the question. So this sword is from Thrang, which is the Summer Festival boss. I think that you can get that as a direct drop from him is where I got that. Yes, I don't have to get off the horse to harvest nodes, but I wanted to kill that. What was it, a wolf? Whatever I killed there. Do you all think we can make it across? There's one way to find out. Nope. I was hoping it would be a little bit closer than that. I do have that run speed boost though. Could have used that. Champion, yeah, they have decent survival. If you go in the tank spec, they have pretty good survival. Brawler as well. And then Guardian would be another good choice if you want better survival. I feel like I need to play my Brawler, but I have other characters that have more exciting adventures going on at the moment. Okay, is it right turn? Nope. I think right turn is... Seems like there should be a right turn there. There it is. Okay. Get the Stable Master. And then one thing I have to actually be very careful of, especially in a place like this, is not falling. If I fall, and fall from high enough up, I could be the end of this challenge. And if I'm going to be honest, if I had to predict this character's ultimate demise, it would be from falling. That is what I see that is most likely to happen to kill me. There are also many times where I just stop paying attention in combat and I die frequently because of that. I'd say that's, besides falling, that's my #1 cause of death. It could be my overall #2, maybe, just like simply not paying attention, which I think is perfectly fine. But what was, I forgot what the point was. I think World Chat is onto something. It looks like they're talking about cats and that it is the cat's world and we need to thank them. Yeah, that's another thing, Hippocratic Oath, is the, like, Moria Well. Would that count as the end of the challenge? For me, if I got to that point, it would be really hard to consider any sort of defeat as something that I could, like, just brush off to the side as that's not in the spirit of the challenge, but I don't know. And another similar example is I believe there's a Mirkwood quest that actually has your character get defeated. Maybe. Okay, I think I need to, well, don't need to, but can take the Stable Master Swift Travel back to Klieger. Oh yeah, could get an extra life. Like, each expansion I get to gives me an extra life. That would... Hello there. That would change things up. Maybe you could even do it in not necessarily every expansion, but certain level brackets. I don't know. The thing is with like creating whatever sort of rules for this challenge is I don't want to make it so that basically dying is meaningless. Don't want to lose the spirit of the challenge, essentially. Okay, so we have to go. Let's abandon this quest. That'll just be easiest for me. Well, I guess, yeah, I can just remove it from tracker. That's easy enough. And Piper has awoken.
Well, it seems these are strange days indeed.
Talk to this guy.
Stranger. I left Drusy behind
Somehow I feel like Guard's helm should have been the heavy armor version, but I fortunately guessed right, and the Protectors was the heavy armor.
We had better follow him to his
Travel. Oh, this does let me travel in a fellowship. That's nice and unexpected.
Where does your
Usually these are solo only, but I guess this one doesn't need to be. No dawdling. Definitely do not hear it. Oh, it's boars. Is it boars or is it a cat? Currently it is a cat sitting on my hand. Yeah, because that's what everybody wants to see in the cat cam. Oh, hey, we have all 3 people here. Nice. I'm glad I haven't completely lost, although it does look like we're a little bit off on the quest though, but glad I haven't completely lost everybody here. The other one might have gone back asleep, but yes, Piper here at least is awake. Both cats are females, so they are she's. They will be queens, not kings. Although maybe she would accept king too. I don't know. So far, Michaelis, it is just a don't die, but for crafted gear, currently you all voted, or at least viewers voted. Maybe they were all different viewers, but voted that I can craft gear, but only from this character. So basically self-sufficient style crafting, not crafting from my army of crafting ults. Don't dare to knock over my water. That would be a very Piper thing to do and a very bad thing. Remain alert. I have not been remaining alert. I'm trying to help. Wow. This is a time that I'm very glad to have 2 people carrying me through for an instance like this so I can just pet my cat. I could get used to this. Just sitting here half AFK petting my cat instead of doing anything to level up. Also, this is somewhat random, but I don't know if this is new. It looks relatively new to me, just because I don't remember always being this way, but when you have the non-defeat event version of Routing Cry and Rallying Cry, the icon has lower saturation, it's like grayed out, and then when you have a defeat event, they both become more saturated. An easier way, I guess, just to see that, hey, this is the time you can use them with their biggest effect. And it's very thematic that, like, it's grayed out, less saturated, less strong, and then it becomes stronger, more saturated, stronger saturation. And apparently cat moving ability somehow. I know I've done this a lot, and she will just keep bumping the microphone if I just stand here. So they were updated in the last update. Good to know, Sandals. Now y'all can't hear me. Maybe you can, but... I think she really thinks it's just a little stick for her to rub against and make her mark on. That would be one thing, though. I've talked about like an idea for an upgrade.
Reflects well upon you. And
Is that
why does your ranger friend just stand there like a lump on
I don't remember 2 of these in a row, but here we go.
Should return to Mosswort. I need time to think about this.
But yeah, getting like a microphone, shotgun type microphone that is positioned far away would sort of prevent this from Piper. Oh, this is the same one, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, this is the same one. Oh, Snowdew, do you have this quest now? So are you on? Okay, I don't mind redoing it. That's perfectly fine by me. I might just be even less participant this time. Who do we gotta follow? Because I think we have to move here. Yeah, I'm actually surprised it let you do it without the quest. So for Warden, trying this challenge, one of the reasons I didn't do Warden was because I thought it might be a little bit too much of a cakewalk. And then the second reason is I already have Warden, who's doing his own thing for like a low-level Warden experience. But that's probably too high, yeah. I feel like I'm growing kind of tired of having a microphone in my face, but it's, I don't know, hopefully you all have picked up on this, but a lot better audio quality when it's like closer to me than when it's farther away. I think that's with just this type of microphone the way it is. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of like having to have it this close. Trying to knock her cat fur down to the ground so it's not flying around and stuck on my hand, and then I'll just smack the desk. But yeah, with the Warden survivability, so sort of the point was I was supposed to comment on that, is that it is improved, especially at higher levels. At low levels, it actually wasn't bad before. I can't imagine it being worse than it used to be. So yeah, should be pretty decent. This really is the first character that I have actually played with the sword since I got it. It's really nice that I finally have one, because I remember that's something when I got it, I'm like, I need a character to finally put that on and to use it. But my other main two-handed weapon character that I would use is my Guardian, and the other characters I just haven't done it on. Usually these cats are actually good. They don't chew wires, but sometimes Piper will find something that she wants to chew. Like this cable that I have plugged into my keyboard, I guess I can unplug it and show you all, but there we go. It has this little thing. I don't know what to call it. Why am I moving it closer to me? Oh, there it is. It has that little thing, and she was wanting to chew it. Or at least put her mouth around it. But yeah, as bad as these cats are, they're pretty well behaved about a lot of things. Hello, William. William That almost looked like William Williamson, but yes, I like Guardian Redline a lot. For self-sustain and healing for Redline Guardian, so you have Warrior's Heart is the cooldown ability, and then Catch a Breath I think has a relatively long cooldown, like a moderate cooldown, but I think using that tactically is a pretty good option for self-heals. And then I don't know trait point wise what you might have at level 80 off the top of my head, but there's a trait in the yellow line that gives you a heal based on the number of enemies around you. And otherwise, the most exciting answer, potions. Telling mark. So this is actually something to consider. I don't think bleed damage or hardened heart would be the best options here. I think in the long run, telling mark would be good, but it's 3% incoming damage. So that's like a 3% damage boost if you remember to apply it. That does require time to apply. It has an animation in that comes at the cost of using another ability. But the Archer does a lot of damage. I'm not 100% sure about the Herald, to be honest. So, thinking with building, this is what I will pick, even though it might seem weird. But it's like these little things that honestly don't matter much nowadays because I'm like level 9. By level 10, I would already have Telling Mark because that would be the next trait I would pick. But yeah, it's these little things with the build guides that I do. And one of the reasons I can't just like make one, and it takes probably longer than it might initially seem to do one of those videos, is when I do them, I focus on the exact order that I pick traits in. I was about to say that you pick traits in, but that I pick traits in for whatever build I'm doing. Okay, so getting caught up with quests. Maybe this gave you all a chance to get ahead of me a little bit. Hippocratic, if you're wondering if I'm going with a sword over halberd for legendary as an elf. I'm honestly not entirely sure. I could see myself liking a sword on this character. Currently, I'm really liking the sword. With my guardian, I really like the two-handed hammer, even as an elf. Just because that's fun. Halberd wise though, I don't know, like right now I'm not in the mood for halberds, but I guess something to point out, and maybe what you're getting towards, is the racial trait. Technically I could get 5% extra two-handed sword damage with that racial trait, and I think, yeah, this one would boost every weapon, so it just like works on top of that. Okay, well, let's get moving on. Moss sword. Oh, I need silver. Hi, this is one of my brokest characters ever. Also, one of the side effects of me moving rooms for my setup is that I actually have been able to run the dryer, I was about to say driver, but dryer during this stream, and I just started making a little bit of noise. I think it kicked off, but yeah, now I can actually do things like the dishwasher and laundry while I am streaming, which is not the biggest deal, but it's like a little improvement for productivity. Because back, like, the washer dryer here and dishwasher are dishwasher's naturally loud. The washer and dryer are both very old, and the dryer makes excessive noise.
All appears quiet. That is good. But I will
So, what was the point of that? Oh yeah, so it's just like not feasible at all to have those running during videos or streams before. Just needed to turn and I would see the ring. Hold up, I thought shift clicking these got rid of them. Let's see. Maybe it's in the quest log that you shift click. Hold up. Control? Alt click? Didn't this used to be a thing? I don't know. Maybe that was never a thing. For some reason I thought you could click these in some manner to get rid of them. But I think this would help me a lot if I just got rid of all those. It would have probably helped me a long time ago if I did that. So we're going to the blacksmith, okay. And we're picking up the barrel of weapons. Barrel of swords, specifically, okay. Gotta get these guys armed up. And then Mid-Elder, I think, is... northwest. I was gonna say it said on the quest text northwest. I thought he was southeast by the little farm animal pen area. Radagast, Gandalf, and Saruman. Oh, so this is the only one that Mid-Elder has met in person. I was a little bit confused. I thought that was Radagast saying that, like, Radagast is the only one he's met in person. Doesn't know much about Gandalf. And finally, Saruman. He does not believe, or cannot believe really, that Saruman is turned to evil, essentially, it seems. And we are on Book 1, Chapter 1, which I think is about as far as I got on the Runekeeper. I might have gotten a little bit farther, but this is pretty close. Pretty close to what I got. Oh, we're back to Mid-Elder. I could travel east to Nidwaith. But yeah, it looks like, let's see, group-wise, both of them. One of them's already, they're on the same quest and has completed all objectives, while Snowdew is on the same quest. Okay. I am going to start heading... Oh, just kidding. I'm going to do some crafting, and then I'll head out. But might as well craft me some armor here. Okay, Andrew, you're already on chapter 2. Probably not a bad idea to be ahead of me. Because while I am usually slow like this, I will have periods where I actually amazingly get stuff done. Is there a supplier here? Perfect. Oh, I'm level 10. Exciting. I think I get one more trade point. Is that the big thing at level 10? Oh, I get Blade Brother, though. My flag holder can have that. There's 10 ingots. How many do we want to buy? Can't buy that many. Maybe we can buy 10. I'm going to go with 50. That moves me down to 10 silver, but I can sell... Yeah, I don't need that Blazon of Great Alliance. I can sell it. Even the Karis like Glebrin, Mural, Alcove. Also, wasn't that one of the things in the update that Karis Glebrin has a map? Or am I can't click it if it does. Maybe that was some other Karis elf sounding place, but yeah, it would be Karis Glebrin here. I think if it were in this drop down at least. Oh yeah, I never did make myself the armor though. I gotta be extra careful with the armor is what I figure. I'm just extra careful preparing my character. Oh, also Andrew, you broke several bones in your character's body in game to get there. I mean, sometimes that's a strategy. Oh wow, I can craft a full set. We're going full elven armor today. sounds like it is raining, but oddly enough, my air conditioner makes it sound like it's raining outside. They actually do sound similar. So I'm guessing that's the case. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Big stat boost. Got my 1k health milestone. Ah yes, universal ingredient packs. I only have 246 of those. I could take a travel to Lintrev. That would technically be faster. So if I want to be somewhat speedy about this, which I actually wouldn't mind, the big excitement to me, as I've repeated throughout this, is to actually get to Cardalin. So I think if I can take a swift travel to Lintrev, which is a lot closer to the quest objective, might as well do that. Yeah, my kin has the same, Andrew. I'm actually not 100% familiar where they are since we changed kin houses to the Erebor one. I am, if you cannot tell, I'm not a fan actually of the Erebor kin house. I have learned that I much preferred our old island. But they're somewhere there, I think. But it should, yeah, just because I don't like the Erebor house, it's been so long since I've even like gone there to check something like that. I wonder if anybody's on in the kin. A couple people, I don't think either of them are officers though. Okay. It can actually be easy to get yourself dead by falling in this area, so I'll be trying to be slightly careful. I'm glad you like, that's a good name for the cat cam, Catovision on the bottom right. Till I mentioned it there, she was posing for you all. Oh yeah, something I forgot about, but this to me is very random change in update 35, but Mirkwood got an updated map. And this is what it looks like. So if I look at this map, let me make sure I'm not running. Okay, I was like, I'm not on auto run, am I? If I look at this updated Mirkwood map, I think this highlights why I don't like this style of map too much. But something that is kind of funny to me is this makes Mirkwood feel like a nice, bright, beautiful, lush place. And if you've ever been to Mirkwood, then you probably know that is not really what it looks like from ground level. This is technically what like all the treetops and what it does technically look like, but it is very green compared to what Mirkwood actually looks like, the part of Mirkwood that you go through. It sort of matches, and this I would expect more so with Northern Mirkwood because it's a lot more alive from what I remember, but looks kind of similar to this with a lot of green, at least in the treed areas like this. But yeah, I don't know, that's just, I don't think it's a great representation of Moria. The way Dol Guldur also blends, I think that's actually interesting the way you can see that, but it looks funky. It like goes from yellow to an almost tealish green, like slightly blue shifted green. Andrew, you think the new map looks so much better? So I feel like some of my favorite maps were starting with Mirkwood maybe, but some of my favorite maps in the game are Dunland. This one's actually, it's not, here if I go, I thought when you went into, maybe not, maybe I'm getting it mixed up, but yeah, I like the ones in Rise of Isengard and Rohan. Actually like those maps quite a bit. So I'm not looking forward to the day that they change those. Great River, I think, has a great map as well. But yeah, I really like these style of maps. I think that was the peak of maps in LOTRO. And it seems like they're building towards eventually changing Isengard and Rohan. Mordor map? Yeah, I think Mordor map uses the terrain style, or the land cover style. Satellite picture style. That is your preferred term. There we go, Plateau of Gorgoroth. But yeah, this uses that style, so it's pretty hard to see because a lot of it is black. I think the waste, I think, looks a little bit clearer because it's just like a little bit less black. I don't think it's the best looking map. You can really see the texture pattern. Wouldn't this be a great way to lose the challenge? I'm on auto run right now, but yeah. Okay, so I think we are just searching for a sign here. Where the road enters Swanfleet from Enidwaith. On a normal character, I would probably take the time to adventure to Enidwaith and see what it's like for a level 10 character. But one, because I've already done that, and two, because if this character dies, he's done. I'm not going to. They have pretty neat swords. I wonder, I don't think you get one of these as a cosmetic, but I feel like you should. Okay, turn in all the way back in Mossword. Well, I have a milestone skill for that. Uh-oh, Snowdew. I hope you do as well. Oh, it looks like maybe not. I feel bad now. My cat is playing with the curtains. Yes, I was talking about you. Cat break time? This is their favorite toy? Anyway.
You bring interesting tidings.
I got myself totally distracted. What am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, bring Urk swords to... I'm guessing inside the shop would be the blacksmith shop, so I will hope that is correct. Yes. And that will be the end of Book 1, Chapter 1, which I think I actually have done. I kind of remember this. Also, how did this happen? I feel like whatever they have in the code should make sure stats give you integer values. This has plus 20.987 maximum power. So you get an extra 0.987 for, as far as I know, nothing. Actually, when you have power restore, does that... No, that does not. Well, at least for this character, it is an integer. Anyway, these are not terrible. They do have modern stats in LOTRO, and they do have power, which is a mechanic now. Kind of... Wait. Yeah, I read something wrong. But yeah, anyway. I'll take the wool cloak, because that sounds the best out of all those. I like my hat, although it's more of a bucket. Looks like a helmet more than a hat. It looked like a hat for a second there. Can you all see the cats?
What can I do to help the village? Can I come with you?
That's the whole point of doing cat playtime during stream, is so you all can see. Maybe if we go down. I've been needing to sit anyway. Okay, it might be hard to see. There she is. I think my microphone's in the way. I guess if I'm actually going to do this, I can change the camera. Yeah, I have a lot of quests to do to collect these things on the Old South Road. Hopefully y'all aren't just waiting for me. If you are, let me know. Or if you want, I can put somebody on follow end game, but I don't necessarily want to do that. There's a cat. There we go. Kind of hard for me to get to her from here. There's the other cat. Oh, maybe. But I could easily tilt the camera down and it not like completely mess up my position for everything else I would. Or that cat cam. Hold up. This might actually work. Maybe. Oh, this wire actually stretches more than I thought it did. Okay, that might work. Let's see. Don't mind me messing everything up in the middle of the stream. There we go. See, this hardcore challenge has been too intense for me. I need a break. I can point it down. There's my beautiful floor. If I actually like get up and move around, they do a little bit better with not just being lazy and waiting for me to give it to them. And their claws sometimes get stuck in the feathers. Okay, hopefully that's enough. Let me check something. There we go. Okay, hopefully. I can actually get to where I can sit again, but hopefully that is enough cat play time for y'all. Hope you enjoyed it though. And sorry to the people I was in the group with, Sand and Snow and Andrew, but can make progress on the quest now, maybe. You know, this might not actually work terribly. It's not a great spot, but to have the cat cam, if it doesn't get like completely knocked off and tumble everywhere and fall. But if they actually like sat on the couch like they're supposed to. Hold up. Okay, I think that is, well, there we go. I think that is decent position of the microphone for sitting, but I honestly don't know. But anyway, I promise I'm actually ready to play the game again. Okay, so Abomination for the Warden revamp. That'll be a good way to get back into the game. And just thinking about LOTRO. You said the new Warden it grows on you. The thing you miss is Quick Sweep. I could see missing that. It was kind of fun the way it was. To me, the current consumption of like the AoE light dots, for example, for AoE, since I talked about that earlier, it just like, the thing with quick sweeping is that it put dots on, oh yeah, we need to kill these guys. I don't know about the Urukai, but there's a one shot. That really was a sure strike. For once, that ability, that is like the one time that ability, in my experience, has ever lived up to its name. Also, know the Craven corners right there. There's a whole ton of them if we end up needing more of them. But I should probably head towards the person in my group that is here so we can both get credit. But anyway, yeah, with the Warden revamp, the big thing that I have found that I'm missing is from the yellow line barbed javelins. I'm just so used to that because I basically only played in the yellow line because to me it's a lot more fun than the old red line. The old yellow line was a lot more fun than the old red line, so that's what I played in. And ultimately, I am missing, not necessarily seize the moment from the yellow line, even though I am a little bit, but yeah, barbed javelins. It was surprising how much that particular trait, in combination with everything else in the yellow line that is what I missed the most. And I think the reason I don't necessarily miss seize the moment is because that is the one I was most mentally prepared for before the changes. Okay, the Brawler sounds like they have to relog. You know, being over leveled and actually having a not terrible weapon, you can do some decent damage in this game. Just running around accidentally one-shotting all these level 5s and 6s. Can Routing Cry one-shot this boar? Oh, 7-14 Devastate, I sure hope so. That might even have been able to one-shot an on-level mob. And now we have no cats there, but we have a cat. Hold up. Here's a behind the scenes. I should probably fight this mob just in case. There we go. So I would do a Stone of the Tortoise, but I want to get all the XP I can since I'm not intending to do side quests. You know, one thing I have been really bad about Abomination, and honestly, in most of the combat that I have gotten in, which hasn't even been necessarily a ton because of I haven't played the Warden all that much since the update. I think I've still played it more than the Captain overall, even with today's stream, but it's mostly been in the tank spec and focusing more on those defensive buffs. But yes, I have not been great at remembering to actually use Warden's Triumph and the other ability, Android Maneuver. But I do think that that would make the most sense. Potential Whetstone. Do I need these? Oh, I do need these. Oh, anyway, this is what I want to do. Not that. Not that. Yes, that. At least she's not in front of the screen. But there is Piper. And that is my... basically what I see. Except with a much bigger field of view. I've wanted to, like, try to put a bed or something comfortable there, but I honestly don't know if they'd lay in it if I did. And I don't know. It would get in the way of other things. Like, having all this desk space is actually nice because I can, like, move my keyboard back that far or whatever. I like the depth, essentially. Yeah, the thing with the Warden revamp is there's a lot of stuff, but I think because the Warden has been advertised as a tank class, and I think originally was not really taken for its DPS, but taken for its tanking. This is even before the trait line and Helm's Deep and the such. So I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people would be more excited. That barely one-shot him without the huge Devastate bonus, but yeah, I think that's one of the reasons people are more excited about tank spec. At least that's what I suspect. For me, yeah, it's nice having tank be better. But I'm honestly, I feel like I'm equally excited, I guess, about the tank and other general things. I also have noticed, maybe I've been leaning towards not playing damage as much, partially because of the loss of Yellow Line. Yep, freebie Amazon boxes are great. We need 2 more Boar Tusk. I can probably get those to the east. I hope those are not famous last words, but we'll trust the quest tracker here. Wardens have always been able to tank, but their tanking is even more viable now in the blue line. One of the things that I have found annoying about the new tank Warden, though, is that there's a lot of maintenance, like pre-fight buffs that you have to do, and it just slows the group down. So, like, I was running the new 6-man on tier 2 with my kin last night, and I was tanking, but it was like, I could spend however long doing all my buffs before every fight, or I could just run in and actually start the fight and not waste everybody's time, essentially. So I went with the latter option, but it did mean my defenses were weaker than they could be. Yeah, Resounding Challenge is really nice. I wonder if people will find the trait that makes Resounding Challenge not do damage useful, because for me that would kind of suck to lose that damage. But I think it turns it into a force taunt and a threat increase, but maybe it's just one of those. I don't remember exactly. Okay, one more boar up here. The quest tracker did not lie, which is nice. It is nice that these banner guys don't have inductions anymore. So that boar is hiding, which is probably a good idea. I am realizing that quest turning is back at Mossword, but what I can do is go to Lon Garen and then take the swift travel back to Mossword. Ah yeah, the Ghost Herald. I don't know if I've ever actually gotten one of those on my captain though, but a lot of people use them. I don't know what all other options there are, to be honest. It seems like it's either the Oathbreaker or the default Herald. Although I'm trying to think, is Captain the one where you can have like a dwarf? Or would that be Skirmish Soldier only that I'm thinking? Like, would that mean you can also have the other races, essentially, is what I'm asking? If anybody knows. Oh, cat got up. Now y'all get to see A, my wires mess, B, my speaker, and C, how ugly it is. Like, besides the monitors, it really is. This is one of the things that bothers me. And sorry, throat itch there, but yeah, it's just like, I don't know. There's so much stuff going on, and I could do things to fix it, but there's still a lot going on either way. That, like, the wires, I could have them all run together maybe, but some of them are actually tight. Like, they're stretched about as far as they can go and still function, that it's difficult to do anything else. And then, outside of that, yes, so the monitor stands, what am I thinking? Lamps, that's what they are called. All the light sources I have behind my monitors are basically, they just like add to the clutter back there. Anyway, I'm going to turn this around. And we have a cat in my bathroom, apparently. Oh yeah, it's usually over here. I'm like, I don't remember my bathroom. Like, that was one of the things when, like, planning out how the setup would be in the room. I was like, people probably don't want to, like, look at that, but yeah. Oh yeah, so for different races, Heralds, it sounds like you can do all of them. Except for High Elf and Saudexdorf, maybe. I don't think she likes my coughing that much. Alright, so what are we doing? Mossword. Yeah, I think I've seen dwarfs with the dwarf heralds. That seems to be a common combination. As a high elf, I would probably go with Oathbreaker, I imagine. I don't know. That hasn't really been something that's come up that much. Can you do a hobbit? You can do a hobbit. I probably won't do a hobbit, but that's kind of neat. Now, if only you could be a hobbit captain with a hobbit herald, that would be something. Maybe river hobbits. I have no idea why that would be the case, but maybe. Oh, somebody in the, I guess that would have been Snowdew, in-game mentioned Hobbit heralds. I was kind of surprised if hobbits could be heralds, so I guess I still would be surprised if that is the case. Corsair, so Eric, one thing to point out, well, they would be released with the new expansion. It's possible they would be released in a sort of pre-patch. So that would be sometime this fall. Beyond that, don't really have any dates. But one thing to point out is technically the name of them won't be Corsair. I think that was confirmed by Cordovan on the forums. I imagine it'll be something very similar though. Like Swashbuckler I know has been thrown around a lot by different players. And it, yeah, just been generally thrown around a lot in the community. I wonder what an epic battle would be like. I kind of know it would be pretty poor, but... And I don't really have any reason to run them. Oh, you can't be Hobbit? Or can't have the Herald be a Hobbit? Footprints. Do I have to actually click these footprints? I forget. Yes, the new class is coming this year, which is still very surprising because it took, what was it, like 7 years between the Bear Warning and the Brawler? And then, like 2 years later, they're doing a whole another new class, which I think is exciting, assuming they can, you know, keep it reasonably balanced and the such. So yeah, this is basically on level with the crafted gear. That's nice to see. So for a level 7 quest, at least, this is a level 9 quest, it would technically be a little bit worse than if you could make specifically level 9 crafted gear, but for item level 9, it's basically the same stats, just slightly different itemization here. So yeah, nice to see that, but that's not really useful for me, so I'm going to take them anyway because they sell for the most and I need those precious coppers. This quest has a whole lot of weapons, which means if they're item level 10, which they are, might actually be an upgrade, which it does look like they are again. So this is going to be eastern side here. We're still, okay, still in Swanfleet. We haven't even gotten, like, thinking about Swanfleet in general, we haven't even gotten to Weston or Regian. For all I know, that's actually a really fun place for side quests. That's why I was thinking when I actually got to an area that is different than the areas I have been, I'll probably look more into doing these side quests. I feel like I'm totally off track though with the folks in the group, but that's okay. For leveling, I am currently going Redline. I suspect that I'll primarily play Redline unless I come across something particularly challenging. In that case, I would be interested in seeing how Blue Line handles, and maybe the same for Yellow Line. I think both of them could be fun to try out. But speaking of line, let's see, I'm thinking that I will get the last point in this for the increased damage of, yeah, Devastating Blow, Pressing Attack, and I suppose Routing Cry and Light of Elendil. Oh, that's Light of Elendil, not Blade of Elendil. Is there a difference? I'm not immediately remembering which one Light of Elendil is. So there is, yes, this one, Elendil's Fortune. That could be the buff, but then I don't think this would actually impact that because the buff has been changed. But it could also mean just the damage from Blade of Elendil whenever we get that ability. But got that, and then I think next up, well actually we'll have the next row, so probably would not get any of these. Yeah, I'm thinking right now that would be our best trait. It really is a double, like goes from 5 to 10% damage, just not the crit chance, but think that would be best. Okay, Lawn Garen. I have not done these side quests. This is about where I stopped the Runekeeper. So all of this... No, not all of this. I feel like I did the Avant quest. Maybe not. But I think I'll pick up the side quests and see how they are here. Because we are out of the Hobbit area, it seems. We're to the Dunlending, which is actually a faction that I have liked quests from them in the past. So if they have similar quests to quests they have in other areas, if they're not inconsistent, then yeah. Stay near the hobby master and catch a fish. No thanks. Fishing's not bad, but I don't really want to do that right now. Although, does that? No, actually aiding Lawn Garen has me do that. So if I wanted to do all the Lawn Garen side quests, I would have to actually do the fishing and introduction to crafting. Wow. Alright then, I guess we're not doing that. Oh, can't fight without a fishing rod. That's actually... Ooh, that's going to be rough. Where are you, Snowdew? To the left. That helps. And then, is there a specific Avunk I have to kill? That's at, like... I guess I would already be heading that direction, but over this way. That was kind of neat, the swan animation. Oh, you just mean there are a lot of them here. Yes, this does appear to be an Avunk Den. Well, with the hardcore challenge, what better to do than round them up? Actually, that poison is very terrifying. So let's just kill these guys and not worry about it. Yeah, low-level debuffs. That's one of the big changes I feel like they could make, is give you your debuff remover. Earlier. Because that's a big thing with low levels, you have no counterplay for debuffs. Besides killing them all before they can put the debuff on you, I suppose. But you have no real counterplay to it, and it's just like... They're actually relatively impactful, I guess, at this point. Ooh, an Elder Avunk. But this is what I was talking about with the mark. It has a pretty long animation, so it comes at the cost of doing something that essentially does more than 3% of the mob's health. Because if you think about 3% incoming damage, it's almost like reducing the mob's health by 3%. Is kind of an idea, a way to get a general sense of the strength of something like that. Of course, for a mob with a lot of health like a raid boss or even potentially an elite, that could be pretty impactful. And while I'm running up to a mob, if I have nothing else to use, might as well use that debuff. And there are other effects that it'll eventually have, but for anybody curious, now that I'm actually playing with it and able to think about this stuff slightly better, that is one of the reasons I did not pick this trait before some other options. Okay, I think we have plenty of Avunk, unless you need a deed for them. This copper deposit, and then I'm probably going to head back to the quest camp, Lawn Garen. Get moving on here. Although it looks like we have to talk to somebody over here, so I'm glad I checked that before I actually headed back to camp. It was useful to head west all along. There they are.
No sign of Tegwin.
It does look like he's trying to be stealth-like, so I like that I wasn't able to see him for a moment. I'm guessing we don't need to listen here, and instead we need to listen... Oh, maybe we do need to listen here. Listen for Tegwin. Okay, I thought it said listen to, like I had to click that NPC in.
Nothing.
listen to them specifically, but we were just listening, and now we can move on. We made it, and examine abandoned wooden sword. Can examine it once I find it. It's actually stabbed into the ground. It does not look very wooden though. It's kind of hard to tell with a couple blades of grass. I guess I could turn off frill density, but it does not look wooden to me. This is it's a view of it.
This does seem to be Tegwin's sword.
Listen again, and then I'm guessing we're heading somewhere else to keep on with the search. I don't know in an area like this if they have intentionally designed the water so you can run through with your steed. It looks like based on the avant here, might be able to. The running water, it's hard to tell though, but yes, you can run through that with your steed. Oh yeah, I imagine a lot of resources for Captain and Warden are not updated,
I'm here.
such as my Warden guide, which I was aware of the Warden revamp at that time, but I still wanted to go ahead and make a guide for them. Because I think it was at least partially done. It was just a matter of actually recording it by that point. I anticipate I'll want the two-handed sword. I can't use halberds. Yet there's... When can you use halberds? Is it like level 15? This is actually really funny.
Proud of me.
So as far as side quests, I am currently not doing side quests, but maybe the next town after Longaren. Okay, there are a ton where you are. Yeah, probably. I'll probably check those out and see how they are. It was mainly getting past the southern half or so of Swanfleet. I think I can at least check out these, and by just simply not doing all the side quests in the far southeast here, I think that has helped make me more excited for the quests we'll get to. But yeah, it looks like this quest, I'm surprised they don't let you spend a mythril coin. This is like, this would be the way for them to get me to spend that. But I don't think I would, but it just seems like it'd be a good quest to have that option. But also, this is one of the times in the game where I would actually intentionally get my character defeated to Deathport closer. So I wouldn't have to run as far. But we can run in the foggy swamp. Maybe marshes. I don't know if this will quite be a swamp, but foggy marshland. It might be a swamp, but I honestly don't know the exact definition of what qualifies as a swamp. It's really nice that your steed is, like, the water's just shallow enough that you don't get dismounted. Once I see my phone as a notification, I have to, like, get rid of it. Yeah, this part of Swanfleet is living up to the name. All the swans. It makes perfect sense. Wonder if you can just ride through this whole stream. I'm going to see. Now I have to investigate if there's a place that will actually dismount you. Makes it look like it's Steam here. Wait, why is that horse there? Oh, that was a player. That was some funky lag. Wow. Just a random horse I couldn't click for a second, and then it magically transformed into a hobbit riding a pony. I'm thinking... Initially I was thinking that I'd want to try to get to Carn today, but I'm actually thinking this is sort of swiftly, but it might be a good point for me to wrap up here. When we... Oh yeah, laggy horse disguise. But when we... It actually would be a good disguise. Just like see a random horse in a field. And all the orcs will think nothing of it. When it just suddenly turns into a punchy brawler. But yeah, I might get wrapped up with this stream when I get to the camp. Because if it has a lot of side quests, I will... Oh. I will probably want to wait to start that on have a fresh start at that essentially, and that way, outside of the game thinking, that will give me time to maybe more comfortably eat and get to bed somewhat reasonable time. Oh yeah, invisible horse glitch. I remember something like that. There is also, maybe this is what you're talking about, but where you can like, do you have to do the smoking animation? The pipe weed? Do you have to do that to have the invisible horse glitch? But yeah, that one. I think you can still do that one. I'm not 100% sure how, just because I've never done it, but yeah. Also, now would be a great point. If I'm doing side quests, I'm going to go ahead and equip my landscape pocket item. Oh wow, thanks for all those copper ore. That's actually helpful to get this character crafting without accepting resources from my own ults. I appreciate that, Andrew. White Hands approach. Ooh, level 15 quests. I like that. But yeah, I'm looking actually a lot forward to this area for questing. Maybe I just needed to do like one more quest set on my Runekeeper and the experience would have been much better. Which again, I anticipate and have anticipated that the like leveling experience in general would pick up. But it is... Oh good, it's a collection box. I love it when it's a collection box and you don't have to find an NPC that's sometimes somewhat far away. Wow, these tasks are really laggy right now. But hey, got level 12. So for level 12, I got 3 abilities. We got our Hope, or Victory, the power banner, which I wonder if people ever use that now. We got Pressing Attack, so another AoE. Yeah, I only have one other AoE, so one other AoE. Whatever I'm trying to say. And then our out of crowd control ability. But yeah, for the people in the group, that would be Andrew and Sand Snow. Hope you all didn't feel like I was dragging you on and like intending to continue, but once I got thinking about things and stopped tunnel visioning the content that I was doing, seems like it's a good point to wrap up and save the shift in experience to tomorrow. Yeah, this is one of the... Wait, Victory? Yeah, this is Withdraw. But Victory, I think that one I usually toss off to the side, the cosmetic ability that makes everybody cheer. Okay, Ripped Skins. Oh, that is not one. I thought it... Okay. What item do I have for task? Here it is, broken short swords. That is not a task item, apparently. That is a trophy. Oh, it feels so... No problem with lagging behind. I would have expected that to be me the whole time. Okay, I guess I sold whatever other task items, if I even got any, but that's okay. We got 4 done. Oh, the victory. Yeah, I don't know what the actual name of that ability that I was talking about, the cosmetic one where you make everybody cheer. But yes, the power herald. I just assumed that was the name of the ability because it sounded like that could totally be true. But yeah, this one, definitely not useful before, but I'm curious if people will use it with the power revamp. I don't even know how effective it is. Command respect, that sounds true. That sounds like a captain thing. Minus 7.5% power cost. I don't anticipate that being used just based on that. Unless you have 3 captains in a group, then might as well use that one. But that'd be a lot of captains, but you could have a DPS, a tank, and a heal captain, and might not be the most optimal, but certainly be doable. Be interesting, at the very least. Of course, I am a big fan of using wonky group compositions, questionable at best, in almost creating artificial challenge in that way. Especially considering how much I'm not a fan of the process of getting towards higher tier end game content. I don't mind doing higher tier and more difficult stuff, but the general way it works with my kin and doing end game content is we're usually, well, I guess first of all I should say we usually have a number of people that are somewhere between not well equipped and very poorly geared. And I don't mean to like single anybody out in my kin, of course, that happens to be that way. Like sometimes that can even be my character. My Runekeeper would be a good example of that. But yeah, sometimes we don't have people with great gear. Sometimes everybody has pretty good gear in the group. And also things like, there's all these other things. Trait points isn't really a concern anymore, but I know some people had not many trait points before. And also things like virtues and legendary items even, keeping those up and making sure you have traceries in the first place and have like on level traceries. I mean, sometimes that stuff can be iffy, which again, not necessarily a problem, but it does make group content. It makes doing higher tier group content sometimes more difficult with my kin, but then that I actually enjoy the sort of challenge aspects that it creates without having to move up your difficulty tier. Especially considering that for me, the Scion mechanic, which it was in the Gunabad instances. I don't know if it's in like Sark Vorn or the new Return to Carn Dum instances, but I have never been a fan of the Scion mechanic. It just like makes tier 4 and tier 5 unappealing to me. So avoiding that and still having an extra layer of challenge is appealing to me. Anyway, there's maybe I should make a video on endgame content, and like I feel like I have such a weird relationship, and I don't know if it really is atypical, but I feel like it's an atypical experience running group content. Because most of it is with my kin, and occasionally, infrequently I should say, I have run with like players in other kins or even pug groups. And it can be a mixed experience, but with this one kin that I have sometimes played with, like the people there are decently equipped, at least the ones that I played with and have played with. But oh, I never equipped these pants. Did I never notice? Okay, I actually like these pants. Maybe that's why I didn't notice. The default pants I had actually look kind of decent, and even the markings, like these sort of match these. The brown spots strips, whatever you want to call them. And when you change the pants, it actually turns yellow briefly. I think that's like no pants or something, but that's what I was like, I didn't notice those yellow pants. But anyway. Oh yeah, I can actually see being a little bit afraid to do group content, but I don't think it's much of a problem, usually. Some people can be rude about it, but usually it's fine. For me, it's almost like if there was an say afraid type element with group content, it would be that if people recognize me, they would expect me to be like really good at the game, when I don't think I'm particularly great. Like, there are people that play this game better than me. I would say half of the problem that I run into is just like, I wouldn't quite call it fully laziness, but some of it is probably rooted in just wanting to be lazy. And the other part is just not paying attention. And usually, like when I'm streaming, having distractions on with the stream, which I actually like, it helps keep playing the game more entertaining. Or if I weren't streaming, maybe having something else on in the background, such as somebody else streaming, but I don't really do that much. Do I want this club? Also, 3 ICPR. It's funny to read that stat. And this is also another one that's not rounded to an integer. But yeah, expected to be the expert, which might be closer to that, but just because, like, if I have, say, knowledge on the game, and I can, like, if I knew, which I definitely don't now, know the perfect, I don't even think I had the perfect rotation for the Warden before, but solid one. Actually executing it in game is a whole other deal. Technically, I should save this for my Scholar. Lately I have grown tired of just carrying items around in this game, even crafting stuff. I still think I am a big hoarder of stuff, but it's gotten to a point where I'm just like, I don't really care to keep things. I'm actually getting to that point where I am almost fine to just destroy resources that are very niche use, or I just don't use them very frequently. Yeah, Red Warden, it's going to be a lot different than before. I think definitely more complicated and even more plugin dependent than it already was, which is something I'm not a fan of. Same with Blue Line, to really optimize your defensive buffs. I might finally give in and get some plugins. Non-combat analysis plugins, I should say. But I'm thinking with Redline Warden, in general, you can... Yeah, it's also more fun to figure it out yourself, or myself. I find that element as well, especially this is one thing with instances in dungeons. So some people might can, I'd say a good number, buff monitor. Okay, that's a good one to keep in mind. I think that sounds familiar. I've heard that one before, of course, but that does sound like one of the ones I would have planned on getting. I will say one concern with plugins, and I don't mean this in a bad way to people that have made them for LOTRO, but when I see other people's footage or screenshots with plugins in them, some of them, like, I guess this is one of the reasons I don't like plugins in general. Sometimes they don't match the general aesthetic of the game's UI, and some of them just look ugly to me, which makes it harder for me to just want to use them. But that's a whole other thing. Oh, you're not sure if there's a debuff monitor with that? I think there are some that track debuffs, though. But yeah, with the Warden rotation, I suspect that it would be maintain your buffs with Warden of Triumph and Android Maneuver. And then to, kind of similar to before, use your strongest dots, essentially. As far as I have seen, again, I'd have to play around and actually check things out. But as far as I have seen, there is not necessarily anything that is making you want to start from like low length gambits to high length gambits, I think you can still just use strongest gambit first. But there are some extra complexities with things like the light, single target light dots having faster ticks and lower duration overall, and something like spear or javelin of fate. That one, I should just log into Warden if I'm going to talk about it this much, but that one has a very short duration, but it also does a lot of damage. I'm trying to remember if it is the strongest one. Maybe in blue line. But it's one of the, as far as total damage output over the entire duration, one of the higher damage ones, and you just have to use it relatively frequently. But this is just like the surface of gambit usage with the new Warden. There's also the other stuff that makes it a lot more complicated with advanced techniques, which I need to double check on my Redline Warden, but it seemed like I was missing stuff with that. Maybe it's only supposed to be a blue line feature, but to me that wouldn't make much sense. So I'm suspecting that I am missing stuff with that. From when I set up my, like, very briefly, what did I play it for? Like 5 or 10 minutes? Maybe it was like 10, but I did not play it long. And all of my other has been blue line. So there's that. I don't know. I'm trying to put up numbers up for whatever points I'm making, but what was I going on about? I don't remember. Oh yeah, so with the Warden general idea of rotation and using abilities, yes, there are all the cooldowns. So you have that ability from the yellow line. It might also be just a skill you get. I forget exactly where you get it from, the source now, but it gives you, makes the masteries have no cooldown briefly, so you can use those more rapidly. I think it's called rapid techniques or something like that. And then outside of that, there are the other cooldown abilities, basically weaving those in. And then also the debuffs. It's good if you maintain your marked and diminished target debuffs, but those are not just applied from a javelin ability and necessarily maintained that way. You can do it from the AoE javelin ability. What's that called? Not Wardens. Triumph. Javelin of Deadly Force. But you can also get those with gambits, and speaking of those gambits, they can also consume your damage over time abilities, so you could probably optimize your rotation. So if you have 1 tick left of all of your, say, AoE light dots, you could optimize your rotation such that you use the AoE light dot consumer to get big AoE burst damage right at the end of those, right before you would reapply them anyway. And similar with the single target bleed ones, you could use the cauterizing steel, is that what it's called, to consume those right before they're about to be gone with for some extra damage. That is actually one thing though, with the Warden revamp that I haven't been the biggest fan of is the consumers. I've talked about in relation to the old spear sweeping, one of the exciting parts is you would have some RNG element. I think it was 50% was the rating, but it doesn't really matter. There was some RNG that you would remove or maybe not remove the bleed, but out of that you would get the AoE effect of it. There's just not quite that excitement, I guess, of getting the strong damage over time bleed from using one of your consumers, which kind of makes sense. It's just something to adjust to, but that's another thing. But yeah, I want to play Warden now, but there is a little rundown of the Warden as I sit here on a hill of rocky, gravelly rubble on my captain and his herald that is very uncomfortably close to me. That's better. Oh. The cat cams are not lined up, actually. That's kind of weird. There we go. I guess I must have it zoomed differently between these two, because it's on the bottom left there. It doesn't quite match this. It doesn't match this, and it doesn't match this. But this is like the full zoomed out cat cam. I think I had it zoomed in, so it was like more on the cat earlier. I didn't get whatever like off to the side stuff I used to have, but there's two cats anyway. But yeah, I think that's a good point to wrap up. It does make me excited to play Warden. I do think in general, my next stream will probably be on the Warden. Somebody asked me if I have plans for videos. I am so bad about sometimes missing chat messages, but yeah, somebody asked me about that way earlier. And yes, I do have plans for videos coming up. I have 2 experimental videos that are, I don't know. I just don't know with them. Some people might like them. Some people might see them as completely pointless, which I could even see that. Some people might just find them entertaining, and others might find them better than nothing. And some people, I don't know, might enjoy it. But got 2 experimental videos coming up that are in the same format. I do have a video on the captain, actually, coming up. One of these videos, I don't know which one, but I'm going to get to one of these 3 tomorrow, is the plan. And then I have streams coming up, but I don't know exactly when the streams will be. I know that Sunday, Monday, and typically Tuesday are all tough days, and Wednesday for that matter can be tough. But yeah, Sunday through Tuesday are tough days for me to do streams, but I might try to fit one in. It would be Tuesday if I could. Definitely Monday's no good usually, and definitely not this Monday and not this Sunday. Tuesday's possible. Yeah, I'm super excited as well, exploring more with the horde and tanking, as well as the new damage dealing component of it. I think there are interesting build options where you can still actually be a pretty high damage tank. It would cost you some of the defenses, but it does seem like that would be a possible build that you could go with a more DPS oriented tank if you just don't need or want the defenses. The one thing that I think like a sort of role type thing that seems to be lost, and it could just be me not getting towards, yeah, I think it is completely lost, partially because of barbed javelins. I guess that wouldn't completely lose it, but it would severely hamper it compared to before, is ranged. So it would spec yellow line warden that would go into the blue line and get a bunch of the old defensive and healing oriented traits. So you can, it's essentially a solo build, or was a solo build, where you could have good self-healing and a DPS spec and good survival, where you could kite enemies and do all the regular yellow line stuff, essentially with better self-healing and defense, is what I'm trying to say. And that, I don't know, that was just a fun option. I didn't necessarily use it that much before, but I think it's a fun option that without barbed javelin's damage is a lot weaker than it would have used to be if you try to make something similar in the like current red line spec and get blue line traits. But yeah, I think that I'm pretty similar situation right now, Sand and Snow, where I definitely like the new blue line compared to the old blue line, but the red and yellow changes, there's a lot of good, but there's also some very specific things that I really enjoyed with the old, even red line build, which is something as simple as just spear sweeping, which also got in the yellow line, as well as the old yellow line. I keep mentioning barbed javelins. Seize the Moment has almost been transformed into an ability with rapid techniques, but that is a relatively short duration on 90-second cooldown, so it's like less uptime compared to the old Seize the Moment. I do like the loss of RNG element. I just have to remember to actually like click rapid techniques and that it is a thing. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder how like willing the developers will be to change it, because it seems like with the recent class revamps, that would be Minstrel. I guess Lore Masters had like a mini revamp, is how I described the LM changes. Although some of the things were fairly significant there. Either way, that's just like, what's the word? Not syntax, semantics. Oh yeah, the how fast the basic builders are is definitely nice. That's one of the examples of like one of the general changes that I think is a lot better than what they had before. But then it's almost easier just like thinking about this and not looking in game. That might sound odd, but yeah. I think that I'm also thinking with the old marked and diminished target javelin abilities, I feel like I have missed those a little bit. I don't know, I need to make a video on the word and changes and like a summary of observations. Frame that as a review, I guess. But maybe that's something I can work on for a video one of these upcoming days. I probably will have, the goal at least, is to have daily content for at least the next few days, whether it's in like streams or videos. But it's also just with the way YouTube is in general with my content, doing a video the day after a stream can sometimes be iffy, but I should be able to manage that for a little bit with some of the recordings I have. But yeah, so I would almost describe it as, I don't know, not as fun, not as fluid, maybe, the way you apply the debuffs now. It was also, yes, satisfying to just debuff whole groups of enemies with the old marked and diminished targets. It was simple, more straightforward. And as much as I'm a fan of complexity, like I like the Warden class, I like all the stuff going on with it, sometimes there are things that I think can be more straightforward and more fun. Not even necessarily simple, but maybe that's a good, that could be semantics. Straightforward versus simple. But yeah, it's been talking so long here, it's sunny outside now. It was a very bright dawn. I guess technically if the sun hasn't risen, but it looks like the sun's right over my head. It's so bright. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy the impromptu Warden talk here at the end, but I do think I should get wrapped up with things. I'm actually surprised. I'm just scrolling back in the video and it looks like we may have only been going on about this for like less than half an hour, when I thought it's been over half an hour. But I think, because I'm probably going to start repeating myself and rambling way too much, I'm going to go ahead and get wrapped up with things. I hope you all did enjoy getting this challenge started and this stream with this character. I'm hoping the excitement builds up when I get to some more challenging content, because right now it's basically a regular new character and getting settled with Before the Shadow. I'm almost doing a sort of, getting low-level captain gameplay, sure, but getting an improved Before the Shadow experience. This is an after Before the Shadow. I don't know. I was going somewhere with that, but I totally lost where. And anyway, if you all enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing for more. And yeah, thanks for joining, chatting, and watching, everyone.